Zion, I guess the first half, Spencer Rattler seemed to have a lot of success stepping up into the pocket and getting the ball off. Does that kind of fall on you guys' shoulders as an interior defensive lineman? And if so, how do you keep it from happening?
Yes, we take very big pride in that. We know we had to keep our rush lanes balanced, and we really didn't do a good job of that in the first half. So that was really one of the points of emphasis as a D line. We talked about at halftime. We try to really get that fixed more than anything because we know they weren't really going to run the ball, so we knew they were going to come out and try to throw it around the yard. And we really, from the first half to the second half, I feel like we got that fixed.
John, how would you evaluate this defensive line through 3 games, and what are the areas you want to see improvement going forward?
I feel like we're playing very hard, but at times I feel like we're just existing out there, not really getting a lot of push and getting a lot of pressures. But it's been times that we have hit the quarterback and got back there to him. So I feel like we just got to do it on a more consistent basis.
Zion, I guess putting your veteran coach's hat on, like how quickly were y'all able to kind of switch that, saying they're not going to try and run, so we're going to switch that? And how common is that really? Because obviously nobody has run on y'all well the last 3 years, so it seems like the best strategy to do what they do.
We talked about it throughout the week, but I think it really hits in when we get out there on Saturdays because a lot of teams might try to go play action shots, or they might try to start out running a little bit just to keep us honest. But we know once that second, third series comes around, it's turning a lot of play action. They might run it here once or twice sparingly, but we know a lot of teams probably gonna try to chuck it downfield on us, and we just got to be ready to transition rush, get to the quarterback.
Yeah, what did you see out of Michael specifically this past Saturday? It seemed like in the second half particularly, he sort of elevated his game to another level when Georgia needed it most.
Just doing what Michael does, being that relentless pass rusher that we know he is, and that I know he wants to be, and just Kel being Kel, really, just him going and trying to get the quarterback.
Yeah, Kirby was talking about the speed that guys like Jalen Walker and Sawyer bring to the defense. Just as a defensive lineman, what is it like having guys with that kind of speed and athleticism playing behind you at linebacker?
Oh, it's beautiful for me because I know if a ball spills out, those guys are going to run it down. But also for us, we have to run to the ball because if they overrun it, we have to be there for the cutback lane. So it's fun playing with guys that have that speed because most teams are trying to hit it on the outside because they know most of the time they can't run it on the inside, so they're just going to keep bouncing and bouncing, and we have the speed to get to the sideline and get to it. So we just got to do it on a more consistent basis.
You mentioned Kel being Kel. How quickly, when he got to campus, did you notice, like, all right, he's pretty talented?
Probably last fall camp, probably like day 5, because I think that's when we started doing more third down. Because the first couple of days we're in like spiders and just shells, but when the full pads and that came on, we started doing one-on-ones. You seen his flash, you seen him kind of mimic a little bit of Trayvon, like, and it's just like, wow. So long arms, just a very quick first step, and he, as you see on the field, he's a very dominant pass rusher.
Son, I know obviously you didn't work with Eddie Gordon when he was here working with the offensive line. You saw the work you did do with those guys, how he was a very popular individual with those fellows. So how was that? What did you see from him when he was here?
Just great leadership, just from being in the graduate assistant role and being that assistant O-line coach. A lot of the team has respect for Coach Gordon. He has done a lot for us and a lot for me, just getting me ready for those scout looks the past 2 years. And I tip my hat to him. I'm glad that he has a job. When I found out we were playing him and he was there, I kind of lit up a little bit. So I'm just glad that he's prospering and doing a great job.
How ready did you have those guys to play y'all?
Ready. I can hear him now saying, "Let's go." Just in that little high pitched voice saying, "Let's go." I can hear it now.
You're talking about pressures by the defense. Do you guys, as a defense, have a goal per game? How many is considered good?
As many as we can get. We don't really set out goals. We know a lot of the time goals really don't. Individual goals really don't matter. It's the team goals. Like Michael said probably a couple weeks ago. That's why you don't really see a lot of 15 sack guys, 10 sack guys here. It's because it's a collective defensive effort. So we don't really set a lot of goals.
I'm talking about collective goals for the defense, not your individuals for pressures.
Just as many as we can get.
Yeah, okay.
Tom, what have you seen from Warren and the way he's gotten after quarterback so far and just what he brings to the defensive line?
Just that switch. Warren's had it the whole time he's been here. He gets in his ruts sometimes, and like I tell him all the time, like, come on, like I know what you can do. I know the guy that you are. I know who you want to be, and I just kind of like push him to be there and really get to the QB because I know where he wants to get in this next year and a half. So.
Have you always been willing to talk to your teammates like that and encourage them, almost critically? And if so, or if not, when did that, change for you?
It's just the culture of the defensive line room since I've been here. We've all been able to criticize each other and be able to take it, and because we know it's a culture of men in that room, and once we leave this university, we want to be ready for all walks of life, ready for anything, ready for any kind of coaching, any kind of just anything. So I think it's just like the way our culture is in the defensive line room.
Just wondering, do you seek out or do you read like, criticism of the team and that kind of stuff and coverage of the team? Or do you try to stay insulated from it, like, whatever narratives are going on, right now, Georgia red zone problems and different things like that? Or do you just try to shut all that stuff off? What's your approach to that?
When you say coverage, what do you mean, like the
Yeah,
headliners?
what we're writing and what people are saying about the team. Obviously you guys, you're two-time national champions, so they can't be as good. Here's proof of that, right?
It's just going back to that stuff Coach Smart talks about. Don't listen to the rat poison. Just trusting the guys and the people that's in this building, because we know what we have, we know where we want to be, and we know we have to play better because we're sometimes our best critics and our worst critics. So I think it's just doing it on a more consistent basis and just trying to figure out things week to week and getting better.
Yeah, I know you never played with him, but obviously the injury last night affected a lot of people when they saw it happen to Nick Chubb. Was your sort of, as a football player, reaction to it, and then just, as someone who's been in this program, seeing the impact that he's had on this place?
You kind of cringe a little bit just because the season that you knew he was probably going to have, and he's been playing very well the past couple seasons. Being the number one back kind of hurts. I never really knew Nick personally, but I seen him on the sidelines when he came back to games, things like that, and it hurt me a little bit. But praying for him, hope he gets back speedy recovery.
Coach Smart talked yesterday about wanting to see the defense step up in the red zone and being able to get those stops. What are the keys to that as a defense, and then what do you guys need to see improvement on going forward when it comes to the red zone?
Just the number one thing we always speak about when we get in the red zone, no one in our end zone. That doesn't matter if the first group's out or the rotational guys, no one in our end zone, and we just have to take pride in that from week to week. We know that's kind of where we're falling. Now we're falling off, but that's kind of like where everybody's going to attack us right now, especially when they get down there. So we just got to stand on 10 and really bow our necks and not let people in the end zone.
It wasn't just a red zone score, it was a rushing red zone score. And Coach Smart said that's apparently against the rules here at Georgia. So when you break a rule like that, what's the punishment?
Just closing your eyes when you're watching film. Don't even want to see it. Just makes your stomach sick. We show our standings every week, and just with us being fifth in rushing defense right now, it makes me sick. I want to fix it right now, but I can't fix it till Saturday. So just focusing on daily improvement, making sure that when we do those goal line parts of practice, we really hone in and make sure that nobody's in our end zone, even if it's our one offense, like they don't get in the end zone. So we just try to make sure we focus on that.
To follow up on that, how is defending the run in the red zone maybe different than it might be, towards the middle of the field?
It's just the space is a lot tighter. It's not really a threat for shots, maybe play action, but once people get down there, they're going to try to get the big guys in. We got to go bigger personnel, and they're just going to try to mow us just because it's the Georgia defense. They want to be able to say they ran it in on us, and we know we just have to stand on our principles and stand on our morals about that.
Good time for 2 more questions. Anyone? 1 more?